Hello YouTube, it's Keith, Kevin, Ken. It's time again for the knife of the day, but this time we're not talking about the knives of the day. It's the weekend. As I record this, it's a Sunday evening, and so I'm going to look at one of the sub-collections in my Spyderco collection. And what we're going to look at is the Manix collection. You're now looking at Manix 2s. I have two more of the earlier models that we'll talk about as well. So I'll try to keep this as short as possible. But I promise that on weekends, Monday through Friday, we do the knife of the day. And what that is, basically, is I go around through my collection and focus on one knife at a time, one day at a time. On the weekends, what I'm going to do is grab similar types of knives. Like today, it's the Manix, the Spyderco Manix, and go through those mini collections. So this is where it started for me. This is an older Manix, a very old Manix. Just a year ago, or a couple of months ago, Spyderco came out with a Manix 2 with a backlock, and it harkened back to the original Manix. The original Manix had a very strong backlock that just flipped into place. Very thick knife stock, and they all were S30V steel. And they actually, if you're looking for these, it threw me off. So if you're looking for the older backlock versions of the Manix, not the Manix 2, the Manix, they really talk about the Manix 95 millimeter, that's the big one, and the Manix 83 millimeter, the smaller one. So let's talk about these two knives. Very thick stock. Again, S30V steel. Full flat grind. I happen to only find this in the combo edge. Of course, there's a plain edge as well. I like combo edges. As you guys know, you'll see serrated edges on my on this YouTube channel, as well as a lot of combo edges. But this was just the one that I could find. I was lucky enough to find two of the original Manix with in very good shape. So let's talk about the 95 millimeter, the big Manix 2. I'm sorry, the big Manix. If I make a mistake, it's because I'm so used to saying Manix 2. Very solid backlock with S35 VN steel. Of course, I told you it's full flat grind. Look at that stock. Full flat grind with the combo edge, the plain edge on top, and the spider edge on the bottom. Of course, the forward choil from Spyderco, in this case, it's more like a 70% on the steel and 30% using the G10. Black so let's talk about the blade. 3.75 inches for the blade. 3.25 inches because of that choil for the cutting edge. 8.8 inches total. Now, Spyderco did a Manix 2 version of this, the Manix 2 XL, and we'll talk about that. I do have that. But here's the big thing about these big, solid knives. First, look at the jimping. Just real barely jimping right there. See it? With just some like ladder jimping, not close together, doesn't really dig into your hand. The real important part of this thing is, even with the black G10, and because it's a backlock, These early Mannix actually had four-way clips, up, down, left, and right. Later on, as we get through the Manix 2s with the ball bearing lock, you really get just right, left, only tip up, and we'll talk about that later. Full stainless steel liners, but let me tell you something, they actually have these skeletonized. But the weight for this big one, 6.1 ounces. Oh, it's hefty. I was surprised that the liners were skeletonized because of the weight on these things. The Manix 83 millimeter, this is the smaller Manix, 3.2 inches for the full flat grind Crucible S30V steel. You see the jimpings are a little bit different on this one. They actually have more jimping on the smaller one. And it's a little bit more grippy as well. This is plain edge, 3.2 inches. The forward choil leaves 2.75 inches of edge. 7.9 inches total. Four-way clip, as we talked about with the black G10 and, of course, the back lock. And this is still hefty. I have to say, it's really balanced nice. 5.5 ounces. I mean, these are some big, chunky Manixes. Of course, the Manix 2 came out. Let's talk about the Manix 2 XL. This came out, I don't know, I want to say 2 years ago, and I'm recording this in January 2018. The newer version, really, of the big Manix 95 millimeter. Of course, the huge difference is the ball bearing lock. Very strong. Spyderco's ball bearing lock, which is so smooth on the Manix 2s. This too is really a beast of a knife. It's bigger than the original Manix as far as the blade is concerned. 3.9 inches. Take away that 50-50 choil, 3.4 inches for the cutting edge. 8.9 inches total. But here's the big thing. While this was 6.1 ounces, it has full stainless steel liners, heavily skeletonized. Of course, the jimping is a lot more significant. The weight for this, as I said, 5.2 ounces as opposed to 6.1 ounces. So it is still light. Just a real nice knife. Huge lanyard holes on the Manixes. And of course, because of the lock, you really get just right hand, left hand, tip up only. I'm a big tip up fan. I know there are people who love the variety of having tip down or tip up. The next, ooh, that just hit my, okay, there we go. I don't want to mess this up. This is just a nice, sweet Manix Sprint Run crew wear. A couple of years ago, of course, a Spyderco Sprint Run, they make 1,200, give or take 200 knives, and that's it. Once they're sold out, and this, of course, is discontinued, it goes to the secondary markets. Just a wonderful knife. It really is. 3.4-inch blade. That's 2.9 inches for the edge. Now you start seeing the 50-50 choil on the Manix knives. There are a lot of you who just love the Manix. Whenever I do paramilitary 2s or natives or anything else, there's always a comment about how you love the Manix 2s. This is really nice. All of these have that Spyderco leaf shape. This is with crew wear, of course. This was the first Manix 2 with crew wear. I'll show you the newest of my collection that also uses crew wear. 3.4 inches, 2.9 for the edge. All the rest of them will have that same size as far as the edge is concerned. All of them full flat grind. This is crew wear. Of course, it has this special gray G10. Can you see the pattern in that? See the pattern? You don't feel the pattern, but it has that nice crisscross effect on the pattern as well. Left, right, tip up only with the clip. Really smooth. 4.3 ounces. You start seeing, even with the G10 models, how much they could cut off with the weight. And one of the reasons is, boy, they really get to skeletonize those liners. And then, of course, there's the lightweights. talking about getting rid of weight. These are 3-ounce knives. The Manix 2s with the lightweight FRN fiberglass reinforced nylon scales. I call it space age plastic. It's so durable, so nice. Of course, you get the same pattern, the same profile from all of the Manix 2s with the huge lanyard hole, the left and right tip up version. I love a clip. I love on the lightweights, since you're talking about only a 3-ounce knife, that they have my favorite clip, and that's the wire clip from Spyderco. And of course, Spyderco's ball bearing lock. This knife has BD1 steel. I do end up with a lot of knives. You see paramilitary 2s. I'm staring at my native collection, which I'll do probably next weekend, which has, I don't know, a bunch of knives. Spyderco's, by the way, all of the Manixes are made in the USA out of Colorado. And so Spyderco loves to do a lot of different variations with the native, with the Manix, with a number of the knives that, of course, is made in the USA, because they really have flexibility with the blade steels that they can use. This is BD1 steel on this one. Again, only 3 ounces on the lightweight. And of course, I was so thrilled when Spyderco added the Manix to their S110V steel production blades. That's the great news about it. That's what I love about it. Did I say this was... Yeah. What I love about it is that usually in the past, I have a number of S110V steel blades from Spyderco that are variations of knives that they've made, and they were sprint runs, the limited edition, which means the cost is higher, they're harder to find. I love when they looked at their Blurple or their dark blue lightweight versions of knives. The Manix 2, they have the FRN dark blue version of the S110V steel, Crucible's S110V steel knife. These are production knives. So they're running through thousands of them. They are still available. The prices are less than Sprint Run as well. I really like that they did that with this very nice steel. Of course, all of the FRN scale ones have the wire blade, and all of the Manix 2 have the same dimensions that we're used to, but I love that they did the S110 production. This is a Blade HQ exclusive. You can tell, right? Because they have the natural G10, which is just special. Blade HQ has also started teasing a new Manix 2 with natural G10. This has the Crucible's M4 steel. Very nice steel. It is not stainless. You have to take care of it, but very nice steel. You just see how this just drops. It's a wonderful, Manix 2. Natural G10, so you can see the heavily skeletonized liners through the G10. They've been teasing a new knife that's going to drop at some point. I think, did they say February? I'm not sure. And it's this knife with Crucible's M4 steel, but black coated. I don't know. I don't think I've seen a black coated Crucible M4 steel on a Spyderco knife yet. But they've been teasing it. Someone commented that they couldn't wait to see it. I can't wait to see on my Instagram. I can't wait to see it and own it either. I really like this. I think the natural G10, some people on the internet calling it JG10, but the natural G10 is a wonderful look. Of course, Blade HQ has done the Paramilitary 2. Same steel, same scales. The Paramilitary, same steel, same scales. And didn't they just announce they're going to do a Lum, Spyderco Lum, Bob Lum, with M4 and natural G10. Oh, I can't wait till that comes. That's coming soon. Maybe they said that was coming in February. I love when Blade HQ decides to do special runs of Spydercos as a Spyderco fan. I also love when Knife Center chooses to do their exclusives. This is Knife Center's exclusive Manix 2 with carbon fiber and crew wear. Of course, the last time Spyderco did crew wear, it was a sprint run that's been discontinued for a number of years, cost a lot. I love that the exclusive from Knife Center with crew wear still is smooth, still available. I don't think it's sold out, Knife Center, yet. And these scales, this carbon fiber scales are unfreaking believable. I just love it. It feels so nice. It has become one of my favorite Manix 2s around. There you have it. That's the Manix 2 collection. Monday through Friday on this channel, we do the knife of the day. Go through the collection one knife at a time. On the weekends, I'm just going to grab a bunch of knives, these sub-collections, and go through them with you, just chatting. I want to play with my knives this weekend, and I want to share that with you. If you enjoy these videos or the regular series, don't forget to thumb it up. Let me know that you're out there. Subscribe, that helps. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. Hey, I really appreciate all of you. You have the best of lives, all right? And if you happen to be struggling a little bit, because everybody does, life isn't all that easy. I hope this helps a little. Just know there's someone thinking about you, even though I don't know you, okay? You guys have a good one. Take good care of your families and your friends. But first, take good care of yourself. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.